Hello guys, so today I'm going to show you a website that I found. It can be used to simulate some electronic components. We are going to see how to simulate an Arduino Uno. So this is the website tinkercad.com. It probably has some affiliation to AutoCAD, the company that makes designing software. So let's find the Arduino board. This is the Arduino Uno. There it is placed. So it has pins. We're going to use one of those pins. Let's get a bulb. Okay. Now did I get the ground? To use one pin here, another pin to the ground. So if you see the code, let's change to text. This pin number 13 is being changed or updated during the loop. In case you don't know the programming structure of Arduino, this function is the setup function. It only runs once during the start, during which you can do all the initial setup. In this case, there's just one line, but when you write complex programs, you will have to write multiple lines in this setup function also. And this is the loop function. This loop function runs continuously. It has to run continuously because when some changes come in the sensor, like the sensor detects something new, for example light sensor detects light, it has to continuously scan the changes in the sensor. That's why this loop function needs to run continuously. So what we have done here is connected it to L3. L3 is set as output, which means that this will be high. So when it is high, the bulb should glow, and when it is low, the bulb should not glow. And the other end goes to the ground. Of course, then only there will be a potential difference and the bulb will glow. Let's run the code now. As you can see, it is glowing and not glowing at regular intervals of 1000 millisecond, which is equivalent to 1 second. Now we're going to add one more component, a DC motor in series. Let's see. Now as you can see, it is running and not running with the bulb according to the code. Can we do something else? For example, say we connect the DC motor to the 12th pin and the bulb to the 13th pin. Now if we run, it should not work. The DC motor should not work. But what we are going to do here is set pin 12 as output. Similarly, set pin 12 to low when the bulb is high, and high when the bulb is low. This way we will see alternate turning on of the bulb and the motor. Let's start. Okay, so we can see that, right? One thing you will notice is when the motor was connected in series, the RPM was lower. Now it is connected separately, so it is reaching about 5000 RPM. Although that is not very important when we are concerned with digital output, but it is important when you are concerned with analog output. As we saw how we can implement output or manipulate the output using the program. Now we'll see how we can take inputs. So to take input, we're going to use a push button. Okay. And using the push button, we're going to give input to the pin number 8, and of course it needs a potential to give the signal, so we're going to connect it to 5 volt. By the way, in case you don't know how push buttons work, so basically these two pins are directly connected. Even if you press or don't press, these are always connected. Similarly, these two are also always connected. When we press the button, the connection is added between these two. Okay, so basically all 4 are connected somehow. So if we give the 5 volt here, it will always be connected whether you press the button or not, so it doesn't make sense. That's why we're going to give it here. That way, when the button is not pressed, it is not connected. When the button is pressed, it will be connected. Now in real life, it will have some resistance in the wire and in the push button internals, but digitally it doesn't have any resistance, so we need to add some resistance to create a potential. So and this will go to the ground. This is just for the digital part. We don't really need most of the time a resistance for push button, so you can ignore this part. Basically our theme is to understand the input, so this complexity you can ignore for now. So basically what should happen is, when you press the button, the sequence should continue like before. When you don't press the button, the sequence should stop. Right now it is not programmed, so it should continue as before. Once the bulb, then the motor. Now let's write the code. So let's take a global variable, my switch. Initially it will be 0, then digital read is an inbuilt function in Arduino which reads the value of a pin. Okay, one more thing, just like we initialized output, we also need to initialize input. In some cases it may work without initialization, but it's not guaranteed, so it is required to be done. Now we're going to give an if condition, so let's just push the code a little bit for more readability. If my switch is equal to high, if it is high, only then this sequence will continue, and if it is low, then also we have to update, or it will continue to use the previous value. So update is basically making both the cases and both the objects low, both the pins low, these output pins. So that's the program. It should work hopefully. Okay, so now it is not running the sequence because switch is not pressed. I'm going to press the switch, 3, 2, 1, and as expected it is running the sequence. Now I will leave the switch and both the things are made low. Okay, so that's how input and output works. Hope I could make some sense. I will try to come up with more objects, use more objects here in next videos, and please comment below what you guys want as a tutorial for the next video. It motivates me, and like it gives me also. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll be back with the next video soon. Goodbye.